Hi, I'm Aaron Raw, and you're watching Atheist Edge.
Welcome back, Atheist Edge. I'm a little bit tipsy. We're going to read some hate mail. I'm here with Buddy again. The very first comment I got when I first started the channel was also my very first troll, and it was my youngest daughter. So I'm going to read you that one right off the bat. Ready? It's from my youngest daughter, Chloe. And this was a video where it was like a test video. It was just me in the garage just testing the equipment. And she goes, "Oh, how sweet." She said, "Looks like there's a lot happening here."
Oh, sarcasm.
Yep, a little
I
sarcasm.
understand sarcasm.
I said, "Oh, sweet. My very first troll is my own daughter." And I was just testing equipment. So here we go. Let's see.
Might as well be somebody you know.
From ABC. Hello, friends. Great video. I have some questions. Most Christians argue that Matthew 17:20 is a hyperbole and is not meant as a literal statement. Is it a hyperbole? They argue a mountain is a metaphor for some type of mountainous obstacle in your life. Same with Mark 9:23. All things are possible for one who believes. My response was, "You're absolutely correct. These passages are at best metaphorical and meant to convey the immense power of faith. Every double-blind study, however, on the efficacy of faith results in outcomes no better than random chance." So I'm assuming, I haven't gone back and looked at these, Matthew 17:20 and Mark 19:23. I'm guessing it's something about if you have faith as a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. That's what I'm kind of guessing.
Which I'm okay with as long as that faith isn't supernatural. If you have faith in yourself, you have faith in your talent, you have faith in...
I think you're using faith in a different way than a Christian might be using it. What do you mean by faith when you say it then? Just trust?
A reasonable confidence that...
Like trust then?
That could happen. Yeah, you
okay.
trust that it could happen, or you have good reason to believe based on history and based on your friends and life in general that you could probably accomplish this without... I guess.
Well, how is faith different than trust then? I thought faith was something different than trust. That's why it's a different word. You know, what is it? Hebrews 1:11. It's like faith is confidence in things you can't see. So faith is inherently blind in my view, right? Or, I know a lot of Christians that don't believe that. I can think of two right off the top of my head that said no, faith is evidence-based. But the way faith seems to me is, to make it separate from trust, is that it's knowing something without any evidence whatsoever.
Well, maybe you're having to infer. If you trust something, then you have some evidence, that says, I trust this. If it's faith, then you might have substantially less actual evidence that it does this, but you may have 10 things that happen to your life. Well, I have faith that this will happen. But
is it based on any past knowledge of the way things have gone before, historical? Are you basing it on anything tangible?
Well, I'm not sure that...
Otherwise, it's completely blind, right?
I'm not sure a lot of people could answer that.
Do you have faith that the sun's going to rise tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, I have confidence that it will.
Would you call it faith?
So that faith would mean I discount history entirely? In other words, if you were
discount
just
it or not, do you have faith that the sun's going to rise tomorrow?
If you just were plopped on this planet, didn't know anything about it?
No. Based on all your years, tomorrow, do you have faith that the sun's going to rise? And
my alternative is
faith that it's not going to rise, or no faith that it's going to rise.
Well, how about if faith is a complete lack of evidence, then what is my alternative to faith? If I'm pretty confident.
Is faith a lack of evidence? See, it's terminology. It's everyone. We have to agree on the definition. Yeah. We have to agree on a definition. Just some Christians having faith is complete blind. I have no reason to believe, but I'm just going to believe.
But I think they base that faith on something. Whether that something is valid for what they're trying to use it for, whether it be all the things the pastor have told them, whether they have read the Bible and take particular aspects of it as truth. It's like, well, I have faith. Well, it's not a completely baseless faith. It is based on something, but it may not be as solid as trust.
Something in between blind faith and trust. It can be varying levels of faith.
Oh, yeah, everything.
But as soon as you hit that trust level based on past occurrences, you don't need faith anymore. Like, I would never say I have faith the sun's going to rise tomorrow. I would never say that. I will say I have confidence the sun's going to rise tomorrow based on every other day it's ever risen.
Yeah, but you have a lot of evidence.
Right.
If you say
That's why I'd never say faith.
Yeah, but if you say something that almost has to be based on faith.
Like, I have faith that Jesus Christ is coming back.
Well, like my example of being dropped on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know anything about the celestial movement, and it's not like, well, if somebody comes up and says, yeah, that's what it does, well, I'll have faith that that will do that tomorrow, because I really don't know.
Let's see. I'm going to skip over all the... We do get some love every now and then. The more atheists, the better. Keep it up and spread the word, okay? So I'm going to skip ones like that.
At least until that 9/11 guy showed up.
That 9/11 guy. Oh, I think this is a friend. I forget who this is. The two of you, whoever he's talking to in this video, this was the one where Sam and it was one of our original videos. The two of you are horrible sinners, and I'm so glad that a school stood up to your evil nature. In this day and age, because of Obama and the liberals, you're not allowed to pray in school, but this school still has God on its side. You are deserved to get fired.
The
it says,
festival thing?
oh, I guess when I explained why I got fired from
Yeah.
the school. But it ends with, no, I'm just kidding. You guys rock. Having grown up in... he grew up in the same town as me. Having grown up in that town, it pains me to see it's still controlled by traditionalists and theists. Keep bringing the hurt. So,
Yeah.
let's see. This one's based on... I guess we were talking about, how we grew up. Sam grew up religious. I've got you both beat. My mother was a very religious woman who instilled her beliefs in me from a very young age. When I explain this to people and tell them that she died when I was still a child, the usual response is, so you blame God for your mother's death? Is that why you don't believe? These questions are usually met with Forrest Whitaker eyes. You know, the Forrest Whitaker.
I just look at him like, God killed my mother?
Yeah, well,
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess that's what this guy's trying to say.
I mean, it'd be totally just to see what they'd say.
Yeah.
God killed my mother? Why would he have done that?
Well, this guy's trying to say that he's been approached by people who think that he is angry at God for letting something bad happen in his life. I don't know of atheists that think like that.
No. Well, I would accuse the religious person of, like, why did he do that?
Because, I've said this before, but if you're angry at God, you still believe in him.
Yeah.
It's proof that you believe in him.
I'm
not angry at leprechauns.
I don't think it's registered that we don't believe in him.
I'm not angry at leprechauns for stealing my gold.
Yeah. I think atheists, they just think we're mad at him. Because you couldn't possibly not believe that he exists.
Yes. Are you angry at Darth Vader for killing Obi-Wan Kenobi?
As a matter of fact.
Huh? You are angry at... Oh, okay.
I'm not a Star Wars follower.
Oh. I'm not angry at him for killing Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think this one is legitimate. I don't think he's being sarcastic or ironic. You are not a soulless monkey spinning on a pear. Seek and you will find. Humble yourself and ask the Lord to reveal himself to you. It really does work. You should try it before you don't have the chance anymore. For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? I get a lot of those on this channel.
Oh yeah, quoting scripture is really gonna push us over the edge.
Yeah.
I see now. It all becomes clear.
Circular argument. Let's see.
I just almost have to look at people and go, and your God is all powerful, okay? And this is the way that he makes things work or not work. It's like, man, I could sit here for an hour and I don't think you'd provide any kind of defense for that.
True. Wow. I have never seen this one before until just now. You can make a statement which contains multiple false implications. For example, my grandfather wasn't a meerkat.
Did you say somebody's grandmother?
I don't know. I don't think anyone said their grandfather was a meerkat. This contains multiple fallacies and wrong assumptions not connected to the number of words. Number one, evolution does not claim that we're descended from modern animals. Number two, argument from incredulity. I don't know where this guy's going. Some of these are just off the rails. Evolution does not make changes that quickly. Meerkats are not that close to humans on the evolutionary tree. Who said we were? Anyway.
Do you read the crank mail in FFRF? That's
No.
hilarious.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. They usually have 2 full pages of it.
Oh, well. But it would take me multiple episodes to go through all of it. I'm trying to find hate, not love.
All right, it's good that it's hard to find.
Oh, yeah, man. It's very... You know, one thing I've noticed with doing the show, the proportionality of love comments to hate, way better than I expected. I thought I was going to get a lot more. I'm getting a lot of hate, but the amount of support I'm getting far exceeds that.
Well,
I was not expecting that.
I suspect you're going to be found by people keying in atheist search terms as opposed to...
Right.
Yeah.
It's
the other way
a
around.
bit of an echo chamber, but this is proof that it's not 100%. You know, I'm getting the other side. Is there a mutation that allows us to speak and control our jaw without it, we would be just like gorillas? I don't know. I'm not an evolutionary biologist, but at some point there had to have been a formation of vocal cords because I don't think any other higher order apes have vocal cords. They're not able to speak like we are. They can make noises with their mouth and throat.
Yeah, it'd be a minute examination of how their vocal cords differ from ours, and
I don't even think I don't think any other apes have vocal cords. I think that's a new thing with Homo sapiens, or is it not?
well, they must have something if they're able to grunt. And,
Yeah, true.
I mean, and
That's a question for
unless they'd
somebody
like to do
else.
it through their sinuses, which doesn't appear to be
Mhm,
the
mhm.
case from what I've seen. So maybe they
Cool.
just haven't developed.
Wow, this one might be hard to field as well. It's an atheist from the Netherlands. Perhaps you usually get away with throwing around some numbers, but what you're saying is there makes no sense. The fact that you are calculating... Oh, he's talking to somebody else that commented something about 10 to the 300th power. Writing down that number already proves that in mathematics, any number over 10 to the... Anything over 10 to the 50th is impossible? Any number is possible. No, I don't know what that... I know there's basically, 10 to the 41 atoms in the universe,
Oh,
or something about. So
yeah, I
that's
could see where
we're at.
anything over that would be sort of meaningless,
Yeah, it's possible, it's just meaningless, right?
or it's unlikely to prove your point.
I've been told in one game of chess, the possible permutations of moves in just one game of chess is 10 to the 50th, which is more than there are atoms in the universe. And I believe it.
Yeah.
Every possible combination of moves
if
in
you've
one
got
game
something
of chess.
that you're currently constructing, you can exceed the capacity of something that is in a system that isn't able to just like build on itself other than what it's already doing. In other words, if the universe is expanding, it's like it's only adding a certain amount, per. But if you're building a system like chess,
Exponential.
yeah, you could just keep going because you're not restricted
Yeah.
by physical laws.
It's still, yeah, but you think there's only, 32 pieces on the board? There's only 64 squares, but still the possible combinations can get just exponential as hell.
Which is why people play.
Mhm, yeah. That's why a human can beat a supercomputer still every so often.
Yeah, we are unpredictable.
As soon as computers can use intuition and become self-aware, we're fucked.
Oh, yeah. Yep, they'll realize this for the plague that we are on this planet. Gee, Dad, we're going to have to get rid of you.
This is a response to something Aaron Ross said. What Aaron said was right. No amount of evidence can contradict Bronze Age folk law. That is the problem. Everyone that believes must sign a contract that states their religious doctrine is not perfect, nor is the word of the divine. At best, only an interpretation of the word of God. So that the earth can be 95% at peace.
I did watch his speech at the American Atheist Conference.
Oh, yeah, you did? What he said?
I feel like donating money to his campaign. He's never going to make it. But
He's never going to make it.
no, but like he says, he's going to inject some stuff.
Well, the fact that his opponent is running unopposed this time, that's a win. He ran unopposed last time. Bob Hall.
Oh, okay.
He won his primary by only 300 votes, but then he ran unopposed against no Democrat. I would like, man, we live so close to his district. It's a damn shame we don't get to vote for him, you know? We're so close to his district. This
Yeah,
will
but
be
there's
good
voter
for you.
fraud. We can take it.
If there's actual voter fraud. This one you'll love. From Pro Slice 56. Only an idiot thinks 2 planes pulverized 3 huge buildings. It was 4 planes destroying 5 buildings and an empty field. As for your assertion that these buildings were pulverized by these planes is absurd and shows how little you know about physics and how the periodic table works, you moron. Get a proper education in basic physics before you use it to make yourself look foolish. Maybe because I'm feeling a little charitable, I'll give you a hint as to where to start. Try metallurgy. If you can't find out how wrong you are by actually understanding the tensile strength of steel under intense heat and pressure, you'll always be an idiot.
Oh, yeah, the gray area.
We're not even talking about 9/11.
Oh, yeah,
this guy...
The gray area is just amazing. It's like, okay, well, let's take that into bits and bytes. And it's like, no, it's not that simple. Sorry.
I saw a demonstration with the exact same tensile strength steel as what the buildings were made out of.
That was the beach thing?
No,
Okay.
This one is inside of like a foundry.
Okay.
And the guy's got gloves on, and it's a piece of steel with the same exact tensile strength, heated to the same temperature, not enough to melt the steel beams, just in the exact same temperature as what the jet fuel would have created.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and he just grabs it by the top and he just bends this bitch like this with his own strength.
That sounds okay.
Totally enough to make that unstable and come crashing.
If it wasn't connected to several hundred tons of building.
Which gives it more weight to...
No, it means it can't reach that temperature. You want to run that same experiment, put it in an oven, try and heat that thing, but off to the side, bolt it to 200 tons of steel expanded over 100 stories.
Oh, for dissipation of heat?
Oh yeah, that heat's going to go.
Dissipation of heat.
That's what buildings do. They dissipate stuff. It's like,
Oh, dude.
you know, whatever heat you're going to apply to that, you have to figure that you're holding a lighter under a 20-foot I-beam. Now, if you take that I-beam and you took a section of it and you held that lighter under it, you might get some reaction out of it. But as long as you got tons of steel to take that heat and go every place, then no, that argument is just not worth anything. And the same with the beach one. You know, the guy had a beach and he had a bonfire, and it's like, okay, now do that same experiment, except attach 200 tons of building to it and see if you get that heat.
Dissipation again.
Oh yeah. It's like,
Dude,
it's gonna go. It just there wasn't that much heat. And even if I admitted that, okay, the ones on that floor melted. Suppose they just lost all cohesion, and well, you've got 90 stories of building under it that haven't. And they held that building up. So it's like, it's not like you're pushing too much weight on them. They already held up all those floors for 20 or 30 years. They're not going anywhere. So the best you could happen is that you would break through, and then you would lose kinetic energy. You'd break through a little bit more, you'd lose more kinetic energy, and you'd have...
But you're gaining kinetic energy through momentum.
You're not gaining enough. Besides, that's stored momentum. And if you have 10 floors, and even if we agree that the 10 floors didn't fall off to the side and you had 10 floors, you only have 10 floors worth of energy. And so you're only going to destroy 10 floors. So you're going to go...
If I was a billionaire and I could just buy a same size building and a plane,
Okay.
and I recreated it just perfectly. I flew,
Okay.
remote control, flew the plane into exactly, and it all went down exactly like before. Would you go, oh, well, shit, I was wrong?
No, because it doesn't make sense.
Think hypothetically, buddy.
Well,
if I flew the plane in,
so hypothetically
and you're
we're gonna-
sitting there watching.
So hypothetically, we're going to ignore the...
Yes, for now, just ignore all that. I fly the plane in. Watch this, fucker. And we sit there and we wait the exact amount of time, and it burns and burns, and then it collapses and it just free falls under its own weight.
Okay.
Hypothetically, if it all happened just like it happened on 9/11, would you go, oh, well, I was wrong?
Well...
See, there's something in you that has
no.
to believe that
You've
this is...
told me to ignore the physics.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
if
telling
I
you.
ignored the physics,
I'm asking you to
then
think.
that's good.
I'm asking you to think hypothetically. If you saw it with your own eyes.
If I want to disregard physics, then yes.
No.
You already told me that I need to do that.
No. I'm not telling you to disregard physics, because what if your idea of physics is wrong and you're watching it with your own eyes and it comes out and the result is the exact same as before? Would you agree? If you saw that again done under laboratory conditions, would you say, oh, my idea of physics is off and it could have happened that way?
Probably not.
See how bad you want to believe that it's a conspiracy?
No, because the same laws are still in effect. The laws that I'm saying couldn't have been broken the way they were broken are still there. Now, if you're telling me don't look at those rules, okay, fine. Well, if I'm not going to look at those rules, then your building makes perfect sense.
Is it a problem for you, your ability to think hypothetically? Because if you were to turn it on me and say, what if we were at 9/11, if we could go back in time and go to and just sit there and wait for the plane to hit, right? And about 10 seconds before the plane hits, we're sitting there watching, right? And I hear boom, 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 and I see windows getting blown out. Then I see the plane hit. And then it falls.
Okay.
Like you and I both went, yeah, there was a fucking explosions before that plane hit. You heard it, right? I heard it. Okay. Hypothetically, I could tell you right now, I'd be, God, I'm a goddamn conspiracy theorist now. Yep. It didn't go the way I thought it did. That was, yeah, I've been wrong this whole time. I could admit to being wrong is what I'm saying. I have no stake in this to where I need to believe something so bad that I couldn't change my mind on a dime. I feel like you're so tied to this that you could never, no matter how much evidence, you could never pull yourself out of your way of thinking.
No. If you satisfy the objections, I could easily go, no. You didn't,
Okay. All right.
that's fine. It works.
Atheist Edge. Walking the edge of what some consider offensive. But your feelings don't matter here. Only facts. Edgy commentary on the dangers of doctrine, the foibles of faith, the bullshit of belief, the stupidity of superstition, and the idiocy of indoctrination. With razor-sharp wit, curiosity, and critical thought, we take an unblinking look at today's religions. We are Atheist Edge.